Ew.
Right. So, getting back to the beginning, did you all know how big this project was going to be when you first were casted for your voice role?
I knew I didn't come in until season 4.
Right.
Gentle Criminal didn't come in until season 4, and I knew about a year before I got the role. I had heard about My Hero Academia. I heard how amazing it was and how everybody loved it. And I thought everybody's in this show, and Colleen, who is Momoyo Yoroza, and directed it most of the seasons. She and I knew each other from, she directed me in Black Butler, where I was also British, go figure, and I sent her an email and I said, I haven't seen you in a long time, I've been kind of out of sight, out of mind, I hear My Hero's amazing. I'm just going to throw my name in the hat. For what it's worth, if you think I could fit any role coming up in the future, please let me know. And then, lo and behold, she sent me an email and with a picture of Gentle Criminal. I was like, oh yeah. And I said, this guy's British, right? And she said, I don't know. Oh, Colleen, come on, he's got a mustache, he's got tea, he's got to be Brit. So she said, audition in British and American, and we'll pick one. And we went with British, so I was very happy about that.
There you go. So, but that's where the.
But I knew how big the show was. I knew how popular it was. So I was like,
smart.
Yeah,
smart.
When I started, I had no clue how big it was. I mean, because I didn't even know what it was.
Okay.
I mean, because I live here in Houston, and we would go up to Dallas to record, and a lot of times when you're going from Houston to Dallas, the directors will go, oh, John's coming up for this, well, good. We'll book him for this, and if you're in like 3 or 4 or 5 shows,
right,
they'll throw you in, and so you bop around from studio to studio, and I went to go work for Colleen on this thing called My Hero Academia, and I was like, okay. And it was like a 30-minute session. It wasn't even a long session.
Right.
I walked in, she goes, you're playing this character named All for One. He really doesn't say a whole lot at the beginning, but he's going to get bigger, and he's kind of the big bad and all this stuff. And I was like, okay. But I would go in, I'm on the screen there.
Yeah.
I walk in, and I literally would walk into the booth. She'd go, okay, here's the backstory, and I'd do the thing, and she'd go, now recording, and I'd go, excellent. She'd go, okay, thanks for coming in, man, that was it. And I was like, really? So I really had no idea, and it wasn't until about 2 years later when I was at a convention with her, and she was saying, why don't you have any prints for All for One? And I said, all for who? And so I really didn't know, but of course now it's an honor to be a part of it. So
that's awesome. Yeah. What about you, Jason?
Should I continue answering that question?
Yeah, absolutely.
I did not know because I auditioned at the very beginning and actually did a show in London right after it had first been released.
Right.
And man, they really were pushing it like that. I know that the higher ups, the producers, the team, they really wanted this to be a big hit. But initially, that first show I went to in London, they had, marketing everywhere. I mean, everywhere. But literally nobody had heard of it yet.
Right.
They're like, what is this that's on the walls?
Yeah.
A couple of years after that, it just exploded. And then at some point, in the high school hallways of Funimation, Colleen yelled at me from down the hall, I found your dude! Okay.
Nice.
Anyway.
Now, going forward with go ahead.
Oh yeah, so I'm a bit like John. Overhaul showed up in season 4, and by that point it was pretty established. So I was very grateful to get a chance to do it at all. I was at Anime Week in Atlanta when I first met Colleen, and we came up on a panel much like this one, and we hit it off, and I gave her my email. We did the networking exchange there, and I didn't really hear anything for a while, and then a year later I got this audition. I got one for Overhaul, and I got one for Aaron Dismuke's character, Tamaki.
Oh,
and I had just caught bronchitis from Dragon Con, and so it took a bit, but I got 6 lines out in 5 hours. That I was happy with, and she ended up saying, you used the gravelly voice you used for Tamaki for Overhaul. I'm like, that was my normal voice. Okay. That's what it sort of ended up being, just pretending I have bronchitis for the rest of the show.
Absolutely. So for y'all that came in later, would you say that added pressure, you know, to the audition, since you know it was a big deal, right? Already, like you said, pretty well established. So
Yes, that's it's the first anime audition, the audition that I've done for an anime.
Right.
That to me, I didn't hear back for like a week.
Okay.
Because the movie was premiering, I think everybody was busy,
Right,
and I didn't
right.
hear back. And it was like auditioning for the high school play. I was like pacing my apartment one morning. I wonder if I got this part.
Right.
I've never felt like that about an anime, honestly, before. And then she finally sent me an email in the morning. I was like, yeah, I got it wrong.
Nice.
So that was great. No, it was added pressure.
right.
About the same, actually. Yeah, it was. I was living with our good friend Bill Butts at the time, and he was doing his best to calm me down. But I was like, I between getting better from the bronchitis and that, I didn't really have much else to do but pace the apartment.
Right.
And then when the email came in, I was like, yeah, and Bill was like, my man. It was a nice day.
That's awesome. And so Patrick, your character, right? We've seen quite the evolution throughout the latest season, especially, and man, they laid it out heavy, okay, on Endeavor, right? When you first got the gig, did you have any sort of inkling that this character was gonna, develop as much as it has, up to this point?
I had no idea. I mean, I haven't been reading ahead. I haven't been watching ahead. This is one of those shows where I really want to experience everything when I'm in the booth fresh.
Nice.
And I'm online, stuff gets spoiled, big major stuff gets spoiled, but as much as I can,
Sure.
without sticking my head in the sand, I am trying to see everything fresh as we get there. I had no idea he was going to have the sort of character arc he's had. I feel very fortunate to have been able to go on that journey because, hey, I know what niche I live in. Big voice yelling, demons, tall guy. Kellen, you know what's up. So it's to get to be called on for a character with that voice print who's also going to do some acting.
Right.
Is not always something I can presume. And to answer the question about that, I know it was going to be a big deal. I didn't know the show was going to be a big deal. I didn't know Endeavor was going to have his journey. Even when you think the show is going to be a big deal, I mean, I know you guys don't. Sometimes you work on a thing and you think, oh, this is so rad. It's firing all cylinders. Like, it's got a good cast and a good story and good characters, and it goes out into the world, and you never hear of it ever again.
Right.
And there's no rhyme or reason to which ones just
Right.
disappear without a trace. So I really feel like the stars aligned with this show in particular.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes it's just destiny.
Yeah, exactly. So, especially in the last, couple of seasons, so did Patrick and Jason, did you have some pretty intense dialogues there?
So intense. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for what you gave me in those moments, because it really hit home in a very honest and real way, and that, as you know, as an actor, is something that's very, very helpful for a performance.
That's awesome. And I think it definitely shows, right? I mean, I think the crowd can agree that the show has been doing amazing, and Dabi and Endeavor have been one of the characters that just, went incredibly beyond what, at least me as a fan, what I expected, for them to be. And they just kept, building on, and their arcs keep getting more deeper and complicated. And I'll be honest with you, for me, the last few episodes, they kind of stole the show. That's just my personal opinion. But so I can only imagine, trying to record that and obviously try to get it right.
When we're recording, as you guys probably know, we're recording one at a time. So we're not getting that same sort of organic back and forth that we would have if we were doing theater. But just thanks to scheduling, the way it worked out, I had 2 separate sessions for that one particular episode. So I got to hear some of you, you got to hear some of me.
Yeah.
We really, to speak to what
You
you're
were
talking
you
about.
were halfway through during my first session, and I think I came back to finish, and then the rest of you was in.
Yeah.
But like I told you in that interview we had, we had an interview with David Matranga as well, which was really cool. I think it's still online and you could watch it. But basically we got deep into the nitty-gritty of the emotions we all experience doing this. You know, it's a weird thing to play these characters, especially for as long as we have in certain instances. You know, you're not supposed to identify with the character as an actor, and really the parent companies discourage that. But when you've been with something that has come out of you and you feel like the way that I act or relate, emote anyway, is I look to my life and the traumas that I've experienced, and that informs the way my character performs. And so, especially with this, abandonment is my big issue in real life. And the stuff that Endeavor and Dabi, aka Toya, went through was really hitting home. And I think the line that you had, I don't remember it perfectly, but the one that I had to take a freaking break because I couldn't stop crying was, I should have come back to that mountain for you. And I mean,
Wow.
As an abandoned kid, that was I'm tearing up talking about it right now.
That's incredible. That is incredible. Give it up, guys. Come on now. That is commitment right there. That's super, super awesome. And again, I think I speak with, for myself and everybody here and everybody that's watched the show. That shines through, right? That shines through the performance. That just adds to the. Don't get me wrong. The graphics, the writing, all that helps, but just that spirit, that you guys infuse to the character. That's what I think resonates with most of us. So thank you for that, and thank you for sharing that. We really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you guys for. I mean, without you, this would not be possible. So we very much appreciate
give
you
it up
more than we can express.
Give it up for yourselves, guys. Come on now. So the show has been on, for a number of years. So I want to ask you personally, what has been your favorite sort of piece of merch, collectible, action figure that you've seen, or maybe that you own, for your character? Do you guys own any of that stuff?
I mean, yeah, we have some of that stuff. Favorite? That's a good question.
Closet full of La Brava and Gentle Funko Pops.
Yeah, there you go.
Gonna be something that we made ourselves for it.
Oh, come on, yeah, even better, custom.
So, so when we were doing the tour, the press tour for season 4, we went to New York Comic Con for one, and we heard that we were going to be in Madison Square Garden for the freaking panel, which was I still can't believe it to this day, so me and Rico Fajardo, we were trying to figure out how to cosplay as our characters without actually cosplaying, because they wanted to ride the line, respectfully so. So I did have the full getup. I had the big poofy purple, the big green jacket, the gloves, and the suit and everything, because it's technically normal clothes. And I did have this Hollywood effects shop. I got a resin mask of it, and I had them paint it really BA, like really Halloween-y and stuff. Nice. And I was going to wear that on stage, but that was where the line was, and I was like, you know what, fair enough. Yeah, that's a little over the line. Yeah.
Hey, for effort, though.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I have a T-shirt.
Well,
that's cool too.
That's close. I'm sure it's a very cool T-shirt, though. I mean,
it doesn't fit.
Oh, dang it.
But it is a cool T-shirt.
Nice. Yeah. Where did you get it? Was it?
Actually, there's a guy that's here, and his company's name's Spade. He's got a little blue hair, he looks like he ought to be in a Dr. Seuss book. Oh, is it purple? I'm colorblind, so I don't know. But anyway, he's a really cool guy, and he makes really cool shirts.
Oh, yeah, he made a Gentle shirt,
He shows up, and he'll he just walked by way better. I don't know where he went off to, but anyway, he makes really cool shirts.
Nice,
so.
Awesome. So make sure you guys check him out.
I do have the Funkos and stuff like that. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, the Funkos rock too.
I got a couple of these new Bon Presto Toya statues.
Yeah,
those are I love their stuff. No offense to Funko, but for my personal aesthetic, The ones that kind of look more
way
like
more detailed. Yeah.
Yes,
comic
exactly.
book style, action, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Overhaul just got one too. So
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Patrick? Any?
I have a bunch of endeavors. I have all the pops, every like non-Funko figure they make, which is cool
Nice.
because as the figures come out, he just gets angrier
Yeah.
and more jacked up looking.
Right,
Like
yeah,
he's always
very
been
much.
posing, but now
no, he's like the Hulk now, right?
Yeah.
basically he's just on that line of like Red Hulk. He's all jacked up. He's got the scars. He's really angry. But then I've also got this random. I'm trying to remember if it's a pin. I think it might be an acrylic, like one of those little like stand-up acrylic dealies. I forget what the collab was, but it's Endeavor like in casual clothes, sort of leaning forward in an action shot, and he's holding like kebabs with meat.
That's awesome.
Because they'll have
That's
those
awesome.
random Japanese collabs of like MHA x Denny's. I mean, it's
Right.
not Denny's, but that sort of thing.
that would be a cool. That would be base collab.
Yeah,
So
that,
I
that
want
sounds awesome.
Denny's on
It, it kind of sounds like somebody needs to cosplay that, by the way. I'm just saying, guys, for all
Don't
you
you
cool
have an
cosplayers out
Endeavor
there.
hoodie too? Or yeah.
On the other side of the spectrum, I've got a Dabi. Is it cube basket? Is that what they're called? Which is like so cute. It's just weird to
Yeah,
have him so
to have-
so freaking cute, like with the little face and the big eyes and the rosy. Well, not rosy. Burnt cheeks.
A little bit ashy, maybe.
You can paint
cheeks.
them that way.
Right. Well, so last question, because we do have to wrap up here, sadly. I know we're having plenty of fun here, but what would you say is or has been the best part about portraying these characters for as long as you have portrayed them?
The best thing about, what I like about Gentle, he's my favorite character that I've ever played, and I'm not just saying that because we're at my hero panel, he is. And people were asking at the beginning, there was some love-hate, because some people were saying, just after Overhaul was so frightening. This guy comes up with some tea, and he's British, and he's not hurting anybody. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? This is BS, like this is filler. And I was like, no, you don't get it. So I asked people about, when I ask people about Gentle and his character, I'll ask everybody here, how many, because this relates to his character, how many people have tried something before, didn't do too well at it, or failed at it? Raise your hand. How many people have ever wished that you were someone else? You go back in time and change it. How many people have pretended to be somebody else on social media? Raise your hand. There's a lot of things about his character that are very relatable. So it's not about him being a bad person or about being a badass or something. It's about all the relatable messages of redemption and being yourself. And he makes the big mistake of not being himself. He's so down on himself that he goes, if I'm going to make my mark on the world, I have to be someone else. I can't be me. That's his big character flaw. The messages, do not ever think that you have to be somebody else in order to be special or do something. That's the whole message of the show. So everybody's got to
Give it up for that, guys.
I
That
think
is
that's
life
awesome.
advice right there. Beautiful.
By the way, I don't think I've ever had a chance to tell you in person, I love you as Gentle.
Yes.
Like, when Gentle came back, I was like, yes! I just want the best for them.
Exactly.
When they had their moment and they were gone, I'm like, I just want those kids to make it. Like, I hope they're good wherever they are in the world doing their work, study, minimum security, like, you know. I think just having the time is my favorite thing. Again,
Right.
You're not always guaranteed a character arc.
Right.
You're not always guaranteed the full run of a show. You're not guaranteed anything, really. So just to have had the time for Endeavor to have had the story that he's had and to have been the one fortunate enough to portray that, it's weird. I feel like the longer I do this, the more grateful I am for these chances. And you think it would go the other way around, like anything else. You think, oh, you get used to it. Oh, you've done so many. Oh, blah, blah, blah. But it really feels like, well, if this is the last one ever, it was really great. You know what I mean? Like, it really kind of sweetens as you go.
That's awesome.
I mean, playing Overhaul was fantastic. It was like my first big anime role, so it really it introduced me to a lot of people, and it launched me into this like you guys included. I'm grateful for all the people I've met because of Overhaul, and just I don't know, just having a character that has a mask the whole time is so lovely when dubbing, because you can just do whatever as long as it fits within the time. there were a lot of things I love about him, and like you said, I related a lot of my own struggles to him to make him real, and it was kind of therapeutic in a way. So,
Nice.
yeah, it very catharsis. Yeah, to this day, I look back to him, and it's like, okay. But it's hard to pick one specific one. I'd say, you know, the people I've met because of him
Awesome.
is big up there.
That's awesome.
I get to play a lot of bad guys, a lot of villains, and a lot of dads. Sometimes they're the same guy. But I think for me, what really meant the most about playing a character like All for One for so long and being such a part of a show like that and being entrusted to do something is, I think the coolest thing is that I got a t-shirt. No, I'm kidding. No, it was, and Jason touched on this a minute ago when he was talking about how it affected him. I've never done a character in anime, ever. And I've been doing this for 27 years. I've never done a character that brought me to tears, and All for One did. And it was, I think at the end of season 5, and I just remember recording, and after the session, I was like wiped out emotionally. I was like, I couldn't believe what we just did, and it was, you know, we've done so much of this, all of us have done so much of this, you know, it's just a lot of it is tropish and, oh, I know what this character does and I know how he's gonna be, and it's silly or whatever. And I just think for me, it was so emotionally moving and powerful. And it was basically when I was taking in Shigaraki
Right.
and telling him, you know, it's okay, you know, do that.
Right.
It's okay to murder your family,
Sure.
you know, it's fine.
It's fine, yeah.
You're one of me.
Right.
I got you, baby, you know, and
Right.
the way it was done, the writing was really well done, and it was just so powerful. I've never experienced anything since. I mean,
That's awesome.
Doing All for One, I'm kind of there, but no other character I've ever done is anything like that. So
Wow.
it's been a great ride for me. So
Right.
I'm very honored and thankful.
I mean, everything that everybody said is absolutely true. I mean, the catharsis is real. But I want to add to all of this. At home, I'm a single dad. I don't have a social life. I got a lovely girlfriend. She's backstage over here. But I see her with regularity. But she's about the only adult that I see with regularity until I come to these things where you guys are appreciative of what we do in these boxes by ourselves. In this really weird way that we found to continue our acting careers. And I get to see these people that I work with, but I don't actually work with in real time. And they're all just such badass, real, cool people. And I get to have dinner with them and a drink or two and laugh and hug and compliment people's work. And all that's awesome. All that is awesome.
I'm gonna get you a t-shirt.
Yes, there you go. Perfect.
That's real love.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys. You guys have been wonderful.
Well, that's all the time we got. Let's give it up for our amazing guests here. Please don't forget to